Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, General Manager, DeMarcoSports.com, and this is going to be your Sunday video report here on the video report. With all plays combined, no matter the sport, I've won 19 of my last 25 releases. That's college football, NFL, college basketball, and the NBA. 19 of my last 25 have been winners. Not too shabby, 19 out of 25. Now, when we're talking NFL only, over the past 40 weeks, going over the past couple of seasons, over the past 40 weeks, the NFL free picks alone, 73 and 49 roll. 73 and 49. That's the long term roll. 8 out of the last 11 more recently. So 73 and 49 long term, 8 of the last 11 most recently. And again, with all these plays, as I jokingly like to say, these are the best of the worst. The plays for one reason or another that I find some reason not to make my best bet over at DeMarcoSports.com, and I relegate them to free picks. So today I'm going to take a look at the late game between the Bills and the Ravens, and that's coming up. I also want to say thank you to all of you who have written in either to the website through customer service or left messages here on the YouTube channel over the past couple of weeks. My mother passed away on Tuesday. That's why I have either been taking days off at the site and have not been doing video reports here with frequency as I normally have in the past. But listen, she passed away peacefully and is obviously in a much better place. And it was painless for her. So, and I got to spend, and my son, who I flew in, and my daughter-in-law and my wife, we all got to spend some quality time when she had some lucid moments before the end. But I just want to thank you, all of you. You've left some beautiful comments, which I've read every single one of them. I could never, ever respond to them. And even today, guys, I have to be honest with you, I don't have the time to respond because this has just been between her funeral arrangements, viewing, mass. Oh my God, it'll take us weeks to clean out our house. So I'm trying to help my sister as much as I can. I'm in Philadelphia still right now. But I just wanted to take time to express my gratitude to all of you out there. Um, Quick story for you, share something with you. So I was born at 11:59 at night. My birthday happened to be yesterday. My mother, every year, always called me at 11:59 at night. So obviously yesterday was the first time I never got that call. And if not for my mother, I would not be doing this video report. And what I mean is this. So I was born with a major speech impediment. I could not pronounce 18 different letters in the alphabet. I could not blend them into words. I had a problem grabbing words out of my brain. It's like a fog. So my mother always liked to tell the story that in first grade, my father and her went to a teacher-parent conference, and as all the parents are sitting in the room, the first grade teacher said, "We have this great speech therapy program in elementary school. It's a wonderful new thing. We have 4 or 5 students that she teaches. In fact, one of them, if they came up to her and said that the school was on fire, I wouldn't be able to understand what what they're saying." And my parents were like, "Oh my God, I felt so bad for this student." Of course, when they had the individual conference, the first grade teacher said, "I'm talking about your son." Well, they knew I had a problem, but they didn't realize it was that severe. 7 years of speech therapy, if it was not for my mother working with me every single night, putting me through my drills, taking me every single summer, once a week, to speech therapy, working with my drills, and how ironic that, geez, I had a nationwide radio show. I worked in TV for years. I speak for a living. This is what I do. If not for her, I don't do this. And I was able to tell her that once again. She knew that for years, but she did get a smile as I ran through some of my speech drills for her, and she remembered them vividly, and she did get a chuckle out of that in her final days. So anyway, that's my personal story. Let's get to your complimentary play, and I thank you for putting up with me. Um, it's surprising to me that the Bills are a 1.5 point underdog playing at home. Do you know this is the first time the Bills have been an underdog in a zillion years at home. I think it's 42 games or so. Yeah, 42 straight games at home. They have been a favorite. The longest streak in the NFL. Last time they were a dog was week number 17 versus the Miami Dolphins back in 2020. Now, I understand why the odds makers would make them that way because, of course, the Bills lost. What was it, week number 4 at Baltimore? They got demolished 35-10, right? Derrick Henry had 199 yards rushing. But remember, this is a healthier Buffalo team now than then. 3 key starters on defense did not play in that first game. Linebacker Matt Milano, linebacker Terrell Bernard, and cornerback Taron Johnson. They all missed that game. And you saw as the season progressed how dynamic that Buffalo offense became, where every single week practically they would put 30 points on the board. Okay, Baltimore beat Pittsburgh last week. Who cares? Steelers sucked down the stretch, did they not? They finished the season with 4 losses. Make it 5 in a row last week. So Baltimore finally breaking through, beating the Steelers. To quote my favorite country music handicapper, Shania Twain, that don't impress me much. You got a Bills team that last week took care of Denver as they should have, right? Broncos number 1 pass rush, 2 sacks of Josh Allen, a guy who was only sacked 14 times during the regular season. And that offensive line for Buffalo, 3rd in pass block win rate during the regular season. I just don't think Baltimore is going to be able to put the pressure on Allen. And look at Allen's performance in the postseason. And we'll contrast that with Lamar Jackson here in just a second. But in 11 career playoff games, his quarterback passing rating is 102.3, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, average of 272 yards a game, 609 yards rushing, 6.7 yards per carry, 65.3% completion rate. And he's only been sacked 25 times in those 11 playoff games, even though he's dropped back to pass 404 times in those 11 games. Now, Lamar Jackson, going into that Pittsburgh game last week, did not exactly have a stellar postseason record. And he still doesn't, despite having a good game against the Steelers. Career percentage completion in postseason, 59.3, 214 yards per game, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, I think 7 turnovers total. His passer rating, 81.2. Yes, a very good rushing number, 602 yards in 7 games, 6.8 yards per carry. Just as I pointed out last week, that he still doesn't have Zay Flowers, who's doubtful for this game as number 1 receiver, 84 catches, 1,059 yards. Yes, he has Derrick Henry, but the weather, I think, favors, obviously, the Bills. It's going to be cold. Temperature at kickoff is going to be 20 degrees, 13 degrees wind chill. Josh Allen is 14-2 straight up in games under 32 degrees. Now, that's not to say Lamar Jackson hasn't played in wintry, frigid conditions. He is 3-1 lifetime when it's sub 32 degrees. But all in all, I look at this game and I think it's going to be a field goal game. I think it's going to be potentially a high scoring game. I can see Buffalo winning this 34-31, 30-27, 27-24. I just think the Bills are going to win this game. I know Baltimore comes in here with the number 1 run defense, but I look at Josh Allen and I see James Cook, who doesn't really get the respect that he deserves, a guy who went for 120 yards and 23 carries against Denver last week, a guy who ran for 1,009 yards and averaged almost 5 yards per carry during the regular season, and also a very strong back in terms of receiver with 32 receptions. And then they got Ty Johnson, too, a good blocker, a good receiver, a guy who ran 9 times for 44 yards against Denver last week. I think that Josh Allen has more than enough weapons plus being the better of the two quarterbacks. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there that debate me on this, but I still think Buffalo wins this game outright. So the Bills are going to be your choice, and that'll do it. And I wish you well, guys. Good luck, everybody.